Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. The time is 11:05, and I am calling this meeting to order. Mr. Saeed, can you please read the notice of the public meeting?
Chairwoman, this is a regularly scheduled meeting of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission's 2023 annual meeting schedule. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with the Senator Byron M. Baer Open Public Meetings Act. Notice of the meeting was provided to the Asbury Park Press, Atlantic City Express, Bergen Record, Courier Post, Star Ledger, and the Trenton Times on January 11th, 2023. The agenda and information regarding the virtual nature of this meeting was also posted on the CRC website. The meeting time and location has also been posted on the website of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission and with the Office of the Secretary of the State.
Thank you. Mr. Saeed, can you please take roll call?
Commissioner Barker?
Present.
Commissioner Del Cid Coso is absent. Commissioner Nash?
Present.
Vice Chair Delgado?
Present.
Chairwoman Waynu.
Present.
We now have a quorum. The first order of business is for the Commission to go into executive session to discuss legal matters and litigation updates. These are discussions that are not shared with the public. We believe the executive session should take about 45 minutes.
Thank you. So I will ask for a motion for the board to go into executive session.
Madam Chair, I move that we go into executive session.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Barker, seconded by Commissioner Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Are there any abstentions? Hearing none, motion passes. As Mr. Saeed mentions, we expect the executive session to last approximately 45 minutes. A note for our agenda, in executive session, we do expect to discuss item number 9A on the agenda, ATC identification card, but due to the nature of of that item, those are discussions that will take place in executive session. But once we get to that item, once we resume the public session and we get to that item, the board will take formal action in public session on that item. But I must note that the board does expect to discuss that item in particular in executive session. So with that, we expect to resume our public session at math time. 11, somebody help me out here.
53.
It's 11:10 right now.
What's that?
Give or take.
Give or take, 11:55, all right. Council Riggs, I'm holding you to it, 11:55 a.m. We will leave the live stream running during that time. For folks in the room, the staff who do remain in the room will not be able to answer questions about the items that are under consideration during today's board meeting. So if you need to use the restroom, please do, and we will see you all soon. Thank you. All right, welcome back. Thank you for your patience, everyone. The time is 11:58, and we will resume the public portion of today's meeting. Mr. Saeed, if you can, please announce the next agenda item.
Next up on the agenda is approving the minutes of both the Commission's open and executive sessions held on September 8th. The minutes have been shared with the members of the commission prior to this meeting.
I'll ask for my board members if there is any edit that needs to be made to the meeting minutes. If none, then I will ask for a motion to approve the meeting minutes for September 8th.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the meeting minutes for September 8th.
Is there?
Second.
Seconded, all right, moved by Commissioner Barker, seconded by Commissioner Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the meeting minutes for September 8th, 2023, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Are there any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes.
Next item on the agenda is the chair's report.
Thank you. So for today's chair's report, I want to remind folks that the Cannabis Regulatory Commission's rule proposal to expand edible products in the adult use cannabis market has been published in the New Jersey Register. The public comment period is open through December 15th. If you go to our website, on the navigation bar, you'll go to the Resources tab and click on Cannabis Statutes and Rules. There you'll find a copy of the rule proposal and a link to submit your written comments. Also, I want to note that applications are open for our social equity businesses to apply for wholesaler, distributor, and delivery services licenses. The new classes do allow for more vertical integration. So if you are interested in vertically integrating your business in accordance with the statutes, please be sure to submit an application for each and every license that you would like. December 27th, the new classes of licenses will be open for our diversely owned businesses to apply for. And then beginning on March 27th, all other applicants can begin submitting their applications for those licenses. If you missed our webinar, the CRC conducted a webinar on September 14th. It does have some important information for our applicants, so go to our website to check that out, nj.gov/cannabis. Again, on the Resources tab at the bottom, you will see a link for our webinars. And lastly, I do want to reiterate a couple of reminders for our industry. So I want to encourage stakeholders to be active participants in removing barriers that are holding the industry back. So engage with your lawmakers and local officials about what changes you want to see in the law. Help applicants be prepared for business ownership. Connect applicants to financing options that you know are available. Work with your city officials to address concerns with unlicensed, unregulated businesses, and make prices affordable and welcoming for patients and consumers. Now, to our applicants, the reminder is that the commission currently has a lot of applications that are in inactive status, that are just sitting in our application portal and unable to move through the approval process because businesses are not responding to our commission staff when they reach out to fix deficiencies in their applications. So, to our applicants, make sure that your contact information is up to date and correctly listed in your application. Please check your email spam folders and your voicemail, and contact the Office of Diversity and Inclusion, the Office of Licensing, or your assigned investigator if you have questions about how to fix a deficiency in your application. New Jersey's regulated cannabis market has great potential. I think everybody here can support that. But we can only live up to that potential if both government and the private sector work together to support cannabis business entrepreneurs. And with that, that is the end of that's all I have for today's chair's report.
Next item on the agenda is the executive director's report.
Director Brown, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Going to keep it short and sweet today. Have some important milestones to run through, though. Next slide. So I'm happy to announce that there are now more than 60 retail sites open across New Jersey, spread across 18 counties, and we have a list of some of the newer openings on this slide here. We have both new recreational-only retailers as well as expansions into recreational from medicinal. This is, we're less than 2 years since we announced the opening of applications, and we already have 60 retail sites. I can tell you, while not on this slide, we also have several AU-only cultivators that are up and running, as well as adult-use-only manufacturers. So product diversity is coming to this market. Next slide, please. Looking at a licensing update, as far as what has been issued, the commission has now issued over 1,250 conditional licenses, 157 conversions to annual license from conditionals, and 112 annuals, as well as 60 expanded ATC licenses. In total, there are over 300 operating licenses awarded or issued at this time in New Jersey. In total, there have been 1,588 licenses either awarded or issued by this commission. So we're still making great progress there. Next slide, please. And this is out of a total of 2,276 applications submitted. Again, it should be 1,588. 1,588 have been approved. We still have some under review in licensing and under review in our Office of Compliance and Investigations. They are by far and large mostly newer applications or applications that have some deficiency that need to be cured. As our chair mentioned, there are a number that have been rejected and are just pending resubmission following a cure. There's about 350 of those applications in the system right now. Those applicants, once they resubmit, could move forward if they so choose. Also encouraging is we continue to see more conditional license holders apply to convert to annual licenses. So we've now received, we're inching towards close to 400 conditional conversion applications, and those are coming in still consistently. For today, before the board, there are 40 conditional applications, 52 to conditional to annual conversion applications, and 20 annual applications. And with that, back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Director Brown. Are there any questions from the board for Director Brown? All right, hearing none, thank you, and we will move on.
Next item on the agenda is the Permitting and Licensing Committee report.
Thank you. I'll be giving today's report for the Permitting and Licensing Committee. In total, we've had nearly 100 businesses granted extensions from July through September. And in total, since the committee began granting extensions, nearly 650 conditional license extensions have been granted. In the past, I've noted the top reasons why why businesses have been requesting extensions of their conditional license. This time we have been able to quantify those reasons. So 64% of those requesting extensions have cited municipal approval delays as a reason for needing extra time. And we see nearly 60% also still struggling with site control. Funding issues, I am pleased to report that funding issues has decreased as a cited reason for the need for extensions. It does still continue to be a problem faced by many of our business owners, but we are seeing that those numbers decrease a little bit there. But I do want to note that with the municipal approval delays, this is I think this is a pretty high number when we have 64% of our conditional license holders that need extensions due to municipal approval delays. And we find that the delays are particularly prevalent in those municipalities that have a local cannabis advisory board of some sort, or otherwise institute a very rigid sequential process at the local level. I want to remind all of our municipal partners that there is no need to recreate the wheel. The CRC does a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to investigations and vetting of cannabis businesses. So we do encourage our municipalities to keep things as simple as possible so that our cannabis businesses do not find themselves stuck in a holding pattern or experiencing significant delays that can further exacerbate the costs that our cannabis businesses are incurring while waiting for the green light to move forward. Because again, municipal approval and site control are requirements under the statute for businesses to have in place and secured before they can even apply to the commission for their annual license. So if we have so many of our conditional license holders that are not able to submit a conversion application, this will continue to be a problem, in particular for those businesses that our statute really was meant to help with the conditional license process. If you are in need of an extension, go to our website. If you go to the next slide, please. On our cannabis business page, right there on the right-hand side are the instructions and the form that is needed to fill out that you need to fill out to request an extension. We do still see some businesses not submitting requests in the appropriate form or by the required deadline. So I really encourage everyone to read the instructions there, follow those instructions to make sure that you are setting yourself up for success. Some of the other issues next slide please, some of the other issues that the committee has come across are, some awardees are failing to pay their fees, especially these are the application approval fees. If you have not paid your fee, you need to do so immediately, as stipulated in final agency decisions that are sent to our award winners. There's a time limit for you to submit your application approval fee. If you do not submit your application approval fees, then you risk having that award being rescinded or other adverse action being taken. We also have noted that there are several businesses that had been awarded an annual license about a year ago, and they are now coming up on their 1-year deadline to become operational. This is a requirement that is in our regulations. As you see here, we have 15 businesses that have an operational deadline this month. If you are, and I believe we've only received a couple of extension requests from businesses that fall under this category. So if you have an operational deadline that is coming up in the near future and you are not ready to request an on-site assessment as required by our regulations, contact the CRC. Make sure that we are informed about what issues you're facing, and if you need to request an extension, please do so as soon as possible. Don't wait till the last minute. We want to make sure that our businesses are in communication with their assigned investigators so that our investigators and compliance officers know what's happening and can assist our businesses where needed. So again, keep track of your deadlines. If you are one of the 15 who have operational deadlines coming up in October, we've got 11 coming up in December and 12 in January. Please be mindful of those deadlines, especially with the holidays coming around, the winter holidays coming up. We don't want you to get caught there. And I want to give a special thank you to our Office of Licensing, and in particular Megan, Shamim, and Terry for their assistance in pulling the data and helping the committee get these extensions across the finish line. And that is all I have for today's Permitting and Licensing Committee report.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Yes.
Or a request. And first of all, I'm pleasantly surprised to see that the funding, the delay or request for extensions for funding is only at 19%. I'm interested to see next time you report out the breakdown in social equity businesses, like who is requesting these extensions? If we could do that.
Yeah, I'll have to work with the Office of Licensing and the staff there that assist in the process for these extensions to see what is possible. It might, because our form does not only request for certain information, right? In accordance with the resolution that delegated authority to the committee, we want to make sure that we're not inadvertently giving preference to certain businesses over others that do need extensions. But I will certainly work with the staff on the committee to see what we can do to provide further information, further detailed information about the requests that are coming in.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? All right, thank you.
Next item on the agenda is the Public Engagement and Education Committee report.
I'll turn the floor over to Commissioner Barker, who will give the committee report for this committee.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. And good afternoon to everyone joining us today in person and virtually. And our committee and our team are grateful and we're humbled to be charged with educating and communicating with the public on different initiatives. Whether continuing our duty to keep the public informed of cannabis updates or hosting public hearings to listen to your guidance and ideas, know that it is truly an honor to serve you and come before you and help shape this industry together. Briefly, just want to thank the Peak Committee team. I want to thank Commissioner Nash. I want to thank Executive Director Brown, staff, the stakeholders, the advocates who helped shape this campaign. You know, our state agencies and our organizational partners, for-profit and nonprofit, and the vendor contractor, Princeton Partners. Commissioner Nash and I are just going to take a few minutes to share updates on the Safe Use campaign and what the public can expect as we aim to encourage smart and safe cannabis use. Many of you may have heard Director Brown last week at our press conference, but he shared that the CREAM Act stipulates that the Commission provide this information for safe and responsible use, as well as initiatives to deter youth consumption. And so we hope this campaign evidences our commitment to achieving those goals. You know, it's no secret equity and safety are the pillars of our commission. And so we take this responsibility serious to provide fair, credible, and continuing education. Next slide, please. So the Cannabis Smart, Cannabis Safe campaign will provide educational content and media rooted in science, history, and fairness. We hope to not create the reefer madness campaigns of the past that stigmatize and criminalize the plant. No, we hope to offer impartial information that allows the public to learn and mature in their understanding. We want to ensure that the content, the ads, the audience, that they're all diverse and reflect the CRC's values and the state's values. To this extent, we're happy to report that Princeton Partners will team up with URL Media, a network of BIPOC media organizations, to amplify inclusive awareness and content. And we hope that this increase in cannabis knowledge will help the public feel more confident with how cannabis can be used and can be stored. You know, we are intentionally offering multiple languages. I want to highlight that. I believe we're going to kick it off, Commissioner Nash, primarily in English and Spanish, but the campaign is flexible and can provide additional languages or additional language interpretations if necessary. A lot of the content is going to be common everyday language and tone, attractive imagery that will resonate with the public and make the messages simple to understand. And they're going to be amplified throughout the state, from signage and outdoor advertising to, I believe, digital ads on websites and streaming services, social media posts, and other outlets. And some of the central messages and themes are listed on the slide before you. You know, we know primarily cannabis is for adults. There are circumstances where children, for medical reasons, may use, but we want to encourage and express that cannabis is for adults primarily. It impairs driving. We can't stress that enough, and Commissioner Nash is going to touch on that. Cannabis use should be approached carefully. You know, as we stated earlier, You want to learn about the ingredients in a product. You want to be able to understand how to read the labels. You want to be familiar with the different product types and their effects, the potency levels, how to safely storage. And so we hope these kind of messages can help certain users avoid unpleasant experiences. Something I want to touch on because it is important, is buying from a licensed dispensary. We know that, and we've heard it time and time again, the legacy market has existed far before the legal market. And we know that people still trust and respect the legacy market. So we want to educate the public even more about the regulated market and the safety and protections that it offers. So you can avoid the dangers of potentially untested or contaminated products. You can have a product that has a label with ingredients. You can have a method of finding out what those ingredients mean or where that product was tested and what was the results of that test. What were the results of the test? Also, very importantly, God forbid, we hope that nothing happens. But if something does happen, you have a legal recourse, right? There's a method that you can address that issue. So we do hope that the messages resonate and encourage more of the public. And I think Chairwoman Wainu touched on this earlier, and it's something that's not here, but what I do hope, I think what we hope is that as the public becomes more educated, we see more municipalities opt in, right? We hear that a lot of concerns are from parents and elected officials, and so we hope that this campaign can iron out some of those concerns, can ease some of those concerns, and spark up a change where municipalities allow cannabis. Next slide, please. And we, as we said, we aim to spread our campaign throughout New Jersey. Ample resources will be shared with the public, with cannabis businesses, with non-cannabis businesses, with advocates, with university partners, with organizations and stakeholder groups. We want this to be amplified in as many areas as possible so that we hit our target audience, as you can see before you. School-age children and teenagers who are very vulnerable and should be informed and knowledgeable about how to stay away from cannabis use unless medically necessary. Parents. We hear so much from parents, and we want to give them the tools that they need to feel comfortable to talk to their children, to understand the signs if they think that use is happening in their household. And so another big topic, health impacted individuals. Individuals have certain health conditions, and they may not know that cannabis can be consumed in different methods to help their particular situation. And so we want to get that information out there. I believe, Commissioner Nash, did you want to touch on something with the drivers?
I do. I want to actually touch on a couple things. Thank you, Commissioner Barker. So some people might roll their eyes when you're discussing cannabis use and pregnancy. For some, that's a hard no. But in the second slide, we are coming from an unbiased, non-judgmental place here. And I want to read you this because I feel that peer-reviewed journals are really important, and they state facts. So not everyone is, people have to rely on certain medicines to make their pain go away, and some can be highly addictive and also dangerous to a baby. So currently up to 90% of opioid patients in state-level medical cannabis registries list chronic pain as their qualifying condition for the medical program. In an exhaustive review, the National Academies of Science and Medicine recently confirmed the efficacy of cannabis for chronic pain in adults. When given access to cannabis, individuals currently using opioids for chronic pain decrease their use of opioids by 40 to 60%. So I mention that because we have to reduce the stigma of cannabis use in both medical and adult use, but particularly for mothers who may need to rely on cannabis instead of more highly addictive substances. The other thing I wanted to add is impaired driving. We have delivery. It's available. Dispensaries can deliver their products to you at home. So, host a party, just be at home. Stay off the road. It's not difficult. The other one thing I wanted to add, and then I'm going to turn it back to Commissioner Barker, is we have inexperienced cannabis users. When edibles are available, and I'm talking a delicious chocolate bar, and I think that my colleagues can attest that I have a sweet tooth, I can eat a whole Hershey's bar. And each of those squares is one serving. So someone that doesn't know that may eat 10 servings, and they're going to be very sick, and if they're not used to that amount of THC in their body, and we certainly don't want that. So this campaign seeks to educate everyone, including those who might harm themselves or others. Commissioner Barker?
Thank you, Commissioner Nash. And then, so again, we want to just thank our partners mentioned earlier for all of their support and hard work, helping us put this campaign together. This is hopefully the first of many educational campaigns at the CRC. And what is dynamic, as we said earlier, is that the campaign is flexible. So please, if there are any suggestions as we roll this out, feel free to reach out to the CRC so we can review the feedback and look into any necessary changes to improve what we're doing. Thank you. And with that, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you,
Sure.
Commissioner Barker and Commissioner Nash. Any questions from the board regarding the Public Engagement and Education Committee's report? Hearing none, I thank the committee again for their remarks and their work to advance the safe use campaign, public messaging campaign. With that, Mr. Saeed, can you please announce the next agenda item?
Next item on the agenda is the consideration of applications for name changes.
With that, I will turn it over to Director Brown to provide a summary of the requests for name changes that have been received.
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair. I did want to thank both the committees for the work that they've done. Really appreciate it, and also on the safe use campaign, our comms team, which have done a tremendous work, and all the messages are going to be science-based, as was shared. Any health messaging would be consistent with CDC guidelines, NIDA, SAMHSA, New Jersey Department of Health. So people will be able to have confidence with the messages and everything coming out of that campaign. On the name changes, we have a number of name change applications before us. They're listed up here on the slide. They have all filed with the Secretary of State, filed with us, and therefore are recommended for approval.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? All right, hearing none, I will ask, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move that we consider the name change request.
And by
I move that we approve the consideration for name change request.
Commissioner Barker has moved to approve the name change requests. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Saeed, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Aye.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the consideration of applications for location changes.
Thank you. Director Brown, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have one application for location change. It's GTI, their Class 2 manufacturer license. It's as well as the corresponding medical permit, a change from 262 Wood Avenue in Patterson to Hackettstown. Hackettstown is their new cultivation facility, their second cultivation facility that was previously approved by the board. So they've submitted everything they need, floor plans, everything that our team looks at. Our Office of Compliance and Investigations have reviewed the request, and it is staff's recommendation that the location change be approved.
Are there any questions from the board? Right. Hearing no questions, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the change of location for GTI New Jersey.
Moved by Commissioner Nash. Is there a second? Is there a second on this motion to approve the location change?
Madam Chairwoman, I second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there any discussion on this motion to approve the location change of GTI New Jersey? The only thing that I will want to throw out for consideration for the board is that given the desire to move its both manufacturing permits to this new location, that it be clear in the final agency decision issued to the business that no manufacturing is authorized to occur at the new location until staff have issued the permits and the licenses for the new location after all of the equipment and necessary accommodations have been executed. Any other discussion? Hearing no further discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Abstain.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next item on the agenda is the consideration of applications for ownership changes.
Director Brown, can you please provide a summary of the ownership change request that has been received?
Absolutely. Thank you, Madam Chair. So before the commission is an application for an ownership change of New Jersey Cannalytics, which was one of our licensed testing laboratories. The new owner would be Thymer Analytics and BC USC Incorporated. The BC USC Incorporated is the parent company there. In your board packet, you have a list of all the individuals involved in this transaction. It lists an outline of the new corporate structure. Everybody has been appropriately vetted in accordance with our regulations. The structure has been reviewed, and this ownership change is recommended for approval by the board.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board for Director Brown about the information provided? Hearing no questions, I will ask for a motion on this matter.
Madam Chair, I move to approve the transfer of ownership for New Jersey Cannalytics.
Moved by Commissioner Nash. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Nay.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next item for consideration is the adult use cannabis business conditional license applications.
Director Brown.
Thank
Floor is
you.
yours.
Thank you very much. So before the commission are 40 conditional licenses, 8 cultivators, 11 manufacturers, 21 retailers. They have all gone through our licensing process, which once they submit, they're assigned a priority based on the qualifications in the application. That priority designation is then verified. Staff conduct a completeness review. These applications have been deemed complete. They are then scored. If they score sufficiently high, they move forward to a qualification review. These have all scored sufficiently high. And for conditional licenses, there's an initial, just quick look assessment for qualification. Not as involved as with annual applications, but these have all gone through that, quality control, and are recommended for approval by the CRC Board of Commissioners.
Thank you. And I believe we have the list of conditional license applications. Right. Okay. Thank you. This list of applications that is under consideration is also available on our website, nj.gov/cannabis. If you go to our meetings page, in the agenda, you will see hyperlinks to these lists of applications that are under consideration today. With that, are there any questions from the board for Director Brown regarding the conditional license applications? Hearing no questions, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the conditional license applications.
Moved by Commissioner Barker. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Aye.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next item for consideration is the adult use cannabis business conversion license applications.
Thank you. Director Brown.
Thank you, Chairwoman Wainu. Before the commission, there's 52 conversion applications. And on both the conversion applications, number one, credit to the applicants who have gone through this process, stuck with it, and then, credit to our staff in the Office of Licensing and Office of Compliance and Investigations. We've really seen, these conversions and annuals increase at these meetings, which is great to see. We want to get more businesses approved and operational. So 52 conversions up for consideration today. They've all gone through that process. They've been assigned a priority designation. That has been verified. They've moved through the review process in accordance with that priority designation. They've been reviewed for completeness, been found complete. They've been scored, have scored sufficiently high to move forward in the process. And then they've undergone a review for qualifications, limitations, and financial and management agreement review, and a qualification review, which is for these annuals or conversions to annuals involves a criminal history background check, probity review of the source of funding, undergone quality control, and are here recommended for approval by the CRC Board of Commissioners.
Thank you. And again, the list of applications under consideration is on our website, hyperlinked in our agenda. Are there any questions from the board for Director Brown? Hearing none, is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the conditional to annual license conversions.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Barker and seconded by Commissioner Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Aye.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next item for consideration is the adult use cannabis business annual license applications.
Director Brown, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The annual applications went through the exact same process I just outlined for the conditional conversion applications. The difference is that they applied directly for an annual license versus getting a conditional license first, but they were, their priority designation was verified, they were deemed complete, scored sufficiently high, and underwent a background investigation and qualification review. We did a quality control review, and these 20 annual licenses applications are now recommended for approval by the CRC Board of Commissioners.
Thank you. Any questions from the board for Director Brown regarding the 20 applications for an annual license? No questions. Is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the annual license applications.
Moved by Commissioner Barker. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Aye.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wenu.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next item for consideration are the expanded alternative treatment center certifications.
Director Brown, if you can, please provide us a summary of the certification materials provided by the ATCs.
Absolutely. Thank you. We have 4 ATC expansion certifications up for consideration today. They are Block, which is a Class 5 retailer. That's in Waretown in Ocean County. Garden State Botanical is also a Class 5 retailer. That's in North Brunswick. GTI, New Jersey, the Class 1 cultivator, which is in Hackettstown. Honeygrove South Corp, which is in Gloucester Township. Expanded ATCs, they have to submit a number of things as part of their certification: municipal approval, a letter of intent noting their intent to expand, certification that they have sufficient quantities, certification that they can operationally continue to meet the needs of patients, as well as serve recreational customers, as well as the standard things we require for entities, submitting application, list of owners, any changes to their previously submitted application, as well as, verification of labor peace agreements. All 4 entities have submitted the required materials. They've been assessed against the regulatory factors that we look at for expanded ATCs, and they're all recommended for expansion today.
Thank you, Director Brown. Are there any questions from the board regarding these certification materials? All right, hearing none. With respect to the first ATC wishing to expand, just click that, which I believe is Block. Is that right? Yes, it is. Thank you. Is there a motion on this matter as it pertains to Block?
Madam Chair, I move to approve Block's resolution to expand operations to adult personal use.
Moved by Commissioner Nash. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there any discussion on this motion as it pertains to Block? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Abstain.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wenu.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Now we'll move on to Garden State Botanicals. Is there a motion as it relates to Garden State Botanicals?
Madam Chairwoman, I move that we expand Garden State Botanical.
I believe you
You want me
move
to-
that we approve.
That we approve, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Vice Chair Delgado has moved to approve the expansion of Garden State Botanicals. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion as it relates to Garden State Botanicals? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Abstain.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wenu.
Yes.
The motion passes.
Now we'll move on to GTI New Jersey. Is there a motion as it relates to GTI New Jersey's certification to expand?
Go ahead.
Madam Chair, I move to approve GTI's request or motion to expand to adult use for Hackettstown.
Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there any discussion on this motion related to GTI New Jersey? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Abstain.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right, and finally, we have Honey Grove South Corporation. Is there a motion as it pertains to Honey Grove South Corporation?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the motion for Honey Grove to expand operations to adult personal use cannabis market.
Moved by Commissioner Nash. Is there a second?
I second.
Seconded by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Abstain.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next item up for consideration is the consideration of annual license renewals.
I believe we have a couple of applications to renew an annual license. Director Brown, floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair Wainu. As you said, we have two testing laboratories that are up for renewal. This would be for calendar year 2024. When a testing laboratory renews a license, they have to submit, submit any updates to the original application. They have to submit a most recent assessment from the ISO 17025 accreditation body, and appropriate fees. Both of these have submitted the documentation required by the Commission's regulations. Both are recommended for renewal for calendar year 24.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board regarding the information provided by Director Brown? Hearing no questions, we'll start with New Jersey Canalytics. Is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chair, I move to approve the motion for New Jersey Canalytics renewal.
Commissioner Nash has moved to approve the application for license renewal,
I second.
seconded by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Nay.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes.
All right, and we'll now move to Shriven Labs. Pardon to the laboratories if I'm mispronouncing their name. Is there a motion on this matter?
Madam Chairwoman, I move that we approve Shriven Rob Labs.
Vice Chair.
Second.
Vice Chair Delgado has moved to approve, seconded by Commissioner Nash. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Nay.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next item on the agenda, we have cases, claims, and petitions.
I will turn it over to Director Brown for a discussion of the ATC identification card cases, claims, and petitions.
Thank you, Chair Wainu, and I'm actually going to pass it down the line here to Chief Counsel Riggs to cover this topic. Thank you.
It's a hot potato.
Thank you, Executive Director Brown, everyone, Wainu, and Commissioners. Before I get into the agenda item, I just want to remind everyone that cannabis business identification cards are required to be received by all employees and anyone that has access to the secure areas of a cannabis business. This includes security personnel and other types of assistance that is being provided at that cannabis business. It is the responsibility of that business to make sure that folks that have access to the secure areas, to make sure that those folks are given a background check if they secure a cannabis business identification card from the Commission. The agenda item before you today, there are 10 individuals that have submitted a request for rehabilitation under the statute. Those individuals all were background checked by the Commission. They were fingerprinted, they received their background checks results, and a disqualifying conviction was uncovered. Those 10 individuals have been, all the information that those 10 individuals have submitted for rehabilitation, there are 8 statutorily required conditions to consider and factors to consider. We have considered them at the staff level, and we are recommending that these folks are considered rehabilitated and allowed to work in the cannabis industry. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Counsel Riggs. Are there any questions from the board regarding this matter? This is, again, for the benefit of the public and those watching. The discussion happened, the detailed discussion of this particular agenda item did take place in executive session in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. But are there any questions from the board before I ask for a motion? Hearing none, I will ask for a motion on this matter.
Madam Chair,
Go ahead.
you want to go?
Seniority, you got it.
Thank you. Madam Chairwoman, I move that we approve the request for the determination of rehabilitation by the 10 alternative treatment center employees.
Second.
Moved by Vice Chair Delgado,
Second.
seconded by Commissioner Barker. Is there any discussion on this motion? Hearing no discussion, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Aye.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next item for consideration are the notices of enforcement actions.
And we have one notice of enforcement action pending before us today. I'll turn it over to Director Brown for a summary of the enforcement action.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the Commission. So this is related to a notice of violation issued to TerraSend, New Jersey. At the last meeting, there was a notice of violation related to certain instances where TerraSend was asking medical patients to purchase products that would be available medically and to recreational customers to purchase off the adult use menu. This is, after that violation was issued, TerraSend submitted a corrective action plan, began correcting those practices. There was another violation after that happened, and so our Office of Compliance and Investigations issued an additional notice of violation following that initial NOV. So this is a second NOV. Based on review of the situation, I can tell you that TerraSend, aside from this instance, TerraSend has been in compliance following those first, I think there were 5 instances on the initial NOV. There's one additional here. Otherwise, they've been in compliance and, have adhered to their corrective action plan. Under the Commission's regs, this would be a Category 5, or in staff's estimation, a Category 5 instance 2, so that would be a maximum penalty according to the regs under that defining matrix of $10,000. Based on the track record of compliance following those corrective action plans, both primarily for this NOV, we're not recommending a fine on this instance, on this one instance, but if the Commission does decide to issue a fine here, we recommend following the fining matrix in the rules.
Thank you, Director Brown. Are there any questions from the board?
Can you just repeat the final recommendation?
Director Brown?
We're not recommending a fine on this instance, but if the board decides to issue a fine, we recommend that it be within that fining matrix, which would be a Category 5, instance 2.
Thank you.
I do have a question, Director Brown. A request was made for TerraSen to provide training records for the staff at this particular facility in Lodi, New Jersey, in accordance with the our regulations that require the maintenance of detailed training records. Was any record provided? Was any subsequent information provided?
Yes, they did provide signed documentation for employees at that facility. It should have been uploaded to commissioners' folders today, along with the some responses. So they did provide what was requested.
That information was uploaded today. Was secured today.
We are verifying. Yeah, we received the request, communicated that, and then they submitted additional documentation.
Can I ask a question while you're looking?
Yeah.
So, the investigator's report, his words strongly encouraged the commission to consider sanctions. And I'm wondering, taking that into account, why would you not recommend any type of sanction?
I mean, our goal here is compliance, and, aside from this one particular instance, that, since that initial round of activity, they've largely been compliant. As I said, I mean, this is my recommendation, staff's recommendation, based on what has transpired since those incidents. It's perfectly within the purview of the board to consider sanctions. And, if the board does consider sanctions, I recommend just adhering to that fining matrix that's in the rules.
Any other
Thank you.
questions from the board?
Can you just confirm for me, I'm sorry,
Yes, Commissioner Barker, go ahead.
I believe in your remarks, Executive Director, you said another violation occurred after TerraSense submitted their corrective action plan. Is that accurate?
So what's before the commission is an additional violation that happened after those first group of violations that was considered at the last meeting. They had submitted a corrective action plan for the first set of violations, and they submitted, kind of additional materials after, in accordance with our rules, confirming that they were following their corrective action plan and, any additional measures that they were following on top of that. I can confirm, that since they've put those measures into place, they have been compliant on this factor, and that's really what's factoring into my recommendation. I want to see businesses that are compliant here going forward, and they've demonstrated the ability to correct actions, and so I think that's a good thing.
Okay. But did the complaint come in after the corrective action plan was submitted?
No, because
Okay.
there was a new.
Just check.
Yeah, that was yes.
Okay.
They did submit on October 18th. There was an upload failure, so it is in there now. I think that was-
There was an upload failure. I can confirm they did submit on October 18th, and I would, if any of you want to see, I'll just ask Deputy Executive Director to open the file and bring it up to the dais.
I would like to see those records, and so, but understanding technology sometimes doesn't like to see us succeed or achieve our goals. I understand that the technology failed us in this instance. If there aren't any other questions for Director Brown in the immediate sense, I will actually make a motion to table this matter so that the board members do have the time to review the information that was provided by TerraSen pursuant to the request, and that the board take up this matter at its next board meeting.
Sounds good.
Are there any other questions from the board before I officially make that motion? All right, hearing none. Deputy Anderson, hopefully you're spared with being providing that. All right, so with that, I will move to table this motion again, or sorry, table consideration of this matter, so that the board has the time to review the information that was provided by TerraSend and ask staff any follow-up questions accordingly, and have the board consider this item at its next board meeting.
Second that.
Seconded by Commissioner Barker. Is there any discussion on this motion to table? Hearing none on the motion to table this matter and take it up again at the next board meeting, Mr. Said, can you please call the vote?
Commissioner Barker,
Aye.
Commissioner Nash,
Yes.
Vice Chair Delgado,
Yes.
Chairwoman Wainu.
Yes.
The motion passes. Next item up for consideration, we have the open public comment period.
Excellent. So we've now come to the part in our board meeting where we hear from you all. Members of the members of the public can provide written comments to the commission on our website. You can do so during this meeting or after this meeting. The deadline for submitting written comments will be 5:00 p.m. tomorrow, Friday, October 20th. Written comments will be shared with the commission members and will be made public. Our speakers today are limited to 3 minutes each. The timer here will be set to 3 minutes. Be mindful of your time that you have so that you don't get cut off. A note that the public comment period is meant to give folks an opportunity to address the commission about matters that the board should be aware of. It's not a place for people to simply market or advertise private businesses. Mr. Said will call out the names of our registered speakers. When it is your turn to speak, please come to the front. And when you sit down, you'll see a button on the microphone. Please tap that button until you see a green light, and then you may proceed. Mr. Said, can you please call on our first speakers?
Thank you, Chairwoman. As a reminder, public speakers during this afternoon's public comment period will be limited to 3 minutes. Please be respectful and concise during your comments. So I'm going to call people 3 at a time. Cheryl Mary Powell, Abigail Pearl, and John De Los Santos. The next 3 are David Fetter, Cynthia Vasquez, and Atul Jain. The next 3 are Charles Greenlensky, I'll just wait for Charles. Yes, sir.
Esteemed and honorable members of the New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission, my name is Grolinsky Charles. I'm the CEO and founder of Cannabis Dispensary, a social equity and diversely owned dispensary in Elizabeth, New Jersey. I'm here to share my experiences as a social equity owner navigating the legal licensing process in New Jersey's emerging cannabis industry. While I appreciate the state's efforts to promote social equity and diversity within the industry, I must express my concerns about the challenges I and many like me continue to encounter. The reason why a lot of the municipalities are at 64% as a reason for barriers to entry into this industry, it's very disheartening to observe that some municipalities do not adhere to their own ordinances when it comes to cannabis licensing. This inconsistency creates confusion and undermines the fairness of the process. What is supposed to be an objective evaluation often feels highly subjective, leaving many social equity and diversely owned applicants feeling disillusioned.
It pains me to say, as a minority entrepreneur, I sometimes feel like the state has catfished us. The promise of a more inclusive industry seems elusive when faced with the harsh reality of local authorities practicing cronyism, to where many, actually some members of planning boards and zoning boards, issue themselves resolutions and block the rest of us out. Political maneuvering, and even to the extent of extortion. These actions are not in line with the mission, vision, and values of the CRC. Going the legal route was a choice, and I often feel like going back into the legacy market, but choose not to and hold strong, believing in the state's promises. To the local authorities, I like to say, hope is never silent. To address these issues, I propose the following solutions: standardized evaluation criteria where municipalities must implement and adhere to a clear and standardized evaluation criteria for all applicants, ensuring that the selection process is objective and transparent. This will help level the playing field for social equity and diversity-owned applicants. Most importantly, oversight and accountability. The legislature must establish oversight mechanisms to ensure municipalities comply with their own ordinances and adhere to state regulations. Hold those who engage in unethical practices accountable for their actions. The CRC may not be able to enforce on the municipalities, but this honorable body can enforce on the companies that take part in pay-to-play schemes or local cannabis permitting authorities that issue their governing members, family members, and friends resolutions without properly completed applications or due process. The New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Enforcement Assistant Marketplace Modernization Act gives this body the authority to enforce in the same way as the ABC. Section C.2461-32, findings, declarations. I'm more than happy to submit this to the body. I mean, it's just a couple more suggestions, and just to say thank you for your time.
The next three are Ziad Ghanem, Lynn Geffen, and Chantal Elsner.
Thank you, Sam. Good morning or good afternoon, and thank you for letting me speak with you on behalf of TerraSand, whom you reached a decision against last month that called into question the commitment to our medical patients due to 5 or 6.
Sorry, if you could state your name for the record.
Yeah, my name is Ziad Ghanem. I'm the CEO for TerraSand. So the commitment was questioned about our commitment to our medical patients due to 5 or 6 unfortunate incidents where those patients did not see their medications on the medical menu. None of those honest human mistakes were committed for any financial benefits to TerraSand, and all of those patients ended up getting their medications. We have provided detailed solution that we have already started to implement to ensure that the same mistake does not repeat. TerraSand is respectfully appealing the decision that the commissioners reached. Today I am here so you can hear directly from me as I represent all 300 employees in New Jersey. My name is Ziad and I am the CEO for TerraSand. I'm here today as a registered pharmacist who took an oath on August 2004 when I received my doctorate degree in pharmacy to do no harm to patients and to protect every single patient against any unfair treatment. It is an oath I will never violate, and it's an oath I will never break for any price, reward, or gain. I joined TerraSand almost 2 years ago because they shared the same clinical guiding principle that I practiced for 17 years in the highly regulated pharmacy industry. I'm proud to lead a group of outstanding team members who have worked with the CRC here in New Jersey since 2018 and have not received any violations, but instead had a perfect record of compliance. Our compliance, community involvement, and SOPs were recognized by the CRC and recommended as best practices in the state. Working with the regulators has always been an essential part of my job throughout my professional career. And I'm a big believer that authentic, honest, good corporate citizens like us paired with fair regulators, will always result in strong partnerships that benefits all patients. And we feel we have not been treated fairly on our first offense. Right is never wrong, and wrong will never be right. That is why I'm confident we can repair our relationship when we prove to you beyond any reasonable doubt that those were just honest human mistakes. I came here today to make sure that this commission heard from me directly that we are here to comply, be industry leaders, and be your best community partners, just as we have been for the last several years. We share the CRC's commitment to ensure New Jersey medical patients are prioritized, and you have my word that we are determined to work alongside the CRC in the pursuit of providing New Jersey patients with world-class cannabis products and retail experience. Thank you for allowing me to speak to you.
Just please state your name.
Good afternoon. My name is Chantel Elsner, and I am the president of TerraSen's Northeast Division. I have led retail in the state of New Jersey for the last 3 years, working hand in hand with CRC staff to open and successfully operate our 3 Apothecarium locations. As many of you know, we are one of the state's first vertically integrated operators. We own and operate a 140,000 square foot cultivation and processing facility along with 3 dispensaries. We're honored to consider ourselves industry leaders in the state, employing almost 300 New Jersey residents. We take great pride in the communities that we serve. We focus on sustainable practices, we celebrate diverse holidays, we participate in industry educational meetups. Educating our medical patients and adult use consumers on who we are and the value of cannabis in their daily lives is an important pillar of who I am as a leader and how we operate here at TerraSen. This year alone, we've proudly sponsored almost 30 events and financially contributed nearly $100,000 to organizations bettering the community. In our recent Q3 social equity report filed with the CRC, we showed how we engaged multiple expungement clinics, sponsored various social equity and local charity events, including the NJ Reentry Corporation, in which we contributed to their training and development program. Ensuring that our team consists of a diverse group of talented individuals is also a top priority for us. Of our almost 300 employees, 100 of them identify as female, and 137 of them are of a non-Caucasian race. These numbers are something that I'm proud of and continue to improve upon. As Ziad mentioned, we take great pride in our relationship with the CRC and the fact that the CRC staff plan to roll out our internal equity reporting template as the standard for all New Jersey operators. I was disappointed at the Commission's decision to impose violations and fines in the September CRC meeting. I have worked diligently with all levels of leadership to understand and to quickly remediate these violations, and I'm proud to say that we're in full compliance. It's hard not to take them personally, as I pride myself and we hold ourselves to high standards around regulatory compliance and patient care. We will continue to collaborate with the CRC and other industry leaders as we continue to navigate new processes and regulations. It is essential to all of us that TerraSen remain a valued, reliable partner and in good standing with your organization. It continues to be my strong belief that this industry has great potential to impact our communities and those we serve. Thank you again for allowing me to speak on behalf of TerraSen as we seek resolution on our appeal.
Good afternoon.
Please state your name and turn on the microphone. Push it.
Push it.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me? My name is Lynn Geffen. I'm the Chief Legal Officer at TerraSen. I've spent more than 2 decades working at large, global, highly regulated industries, so I have the benefit of a significant amount of perspective when I say that TerraSen's commitment to compliance is unparalleled. It has been a badge of honor for us to proudly say that in the more than 4 years we've been operating in New Jersey, TerraSend has not received a violation with the CRC. Unfortunately, this changed last month, a result that I took very seriously. The company that this commission talked about on September 8th is not a company I recognized. The commission implied that we were ambivalent to compliance and our patients. I am here to tell you in no uncertain terms that that is not true. Not only is the implication inaccurate, but the words used by this commission are unnecessarily inflammatory and simply based on false assumptions. It is on this basis, among others, that we have appealed the decision. I want to thank Executive Director Brown and staff for the remarks today acknowledging the commitment to compliance by TerraSend and for recognizing the significant actions we've taken to fix the issues promptly. Thank you. It may help this commission to know that the issues that are the subject of the violations only began when the CRC itself required all industry leaders to implement the metric system for inventory tracking. Staff is well aware that the rollout was difficult and that the entire industry had issues, so this was not solely a TerraSend issue. In June, we were informed that the CRC had received 5 similar patient complaints regarding menu imbalances. We immediately refined our procedures, including IT improvements and employee training, to ensure full compliance with these requirements. Importantly, the solutions were implemented quickly and before the decision was reached by the Commission on September 8th. And we are now, and have been for months, fully complying with all CRC regulations. To repeat, as Executive Brown said, we are now, and have been for months, fully complying with all CRC regulations. TerraSend is committed to continuing to be a good partner to the Commission, but we submit that such partnership requires mutual respect, fairness, and due process. Nothing is more important to me, Ziad, and the entire management team than maintaining compliance and prioritizing patients. You have my word on that. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak passionately before you today.
The next 3 are Jerome DeBeyer, Patrick Grega, and Danielle Zilberry. Yeah.
Good afternoon. My name is Jerome de Beyer, and I'm the Chief People and Culture Officer at TerraSend. While my accent is not native to New Jersey, my family and I have proudly called New Jersey home for 6.5 years. Thank you for allowing me to speak on behalf of TerraSend. How we work together across every position at our company is crucial to delivering unparalleled quality in the service and products provided to our patients and consumers. We thrive on being inclusive and collaborative and living by the core value where each employee is respected and accountable to one another. This is crucial, especially in our retail dispensaries. Having highly trained staff who can provide expert product education is essential to ensure we give excellent experiences in every engagement. Our bartenders are the lifeline between TerraSend and our patients and customers. Their education, confirming they know protocols and follow those standards, and providing them with the right tools, are daily focuses for me and my team. A critical aspect of the employee experience are labor unions. It has been suggested by a guest speaker in a previous CRC meeting that we are breaking the law and by doing so spit in the face of the committee. I personally take offense at that, as it could not be further from the truth. In New Jersey, we have an existing labor peace agreement with a bona fide union that complies with CRC standards. We have allowed the union access to our facilities more than 10 times in the last 6 months, so this union can engage with our employees. On top of this, even in states where an LPA is not required, we actively work with labor unions. In Pennsylvania, for example, no LPA is required, yet we have recently successfully negotiated a CBA with a union in one of our facilities and have an LPA with another union and are beginning the bargaining process. TerraSant values its patients, customers and employees and values the role that labor unions play. Our employees are getting every opportunity to inform themselves if they want to be organized or not. TerraSant strives to be an excellent partner for the CRC as we all navigate the different challenges the cannabis industry has to offer. Thank you for your time.
The next three are Raylan Givens, Miriam Cure, and Amina Cure. The next three are Robert Durbano, Richard C., and Brenda Hill Riggins. The next three are Stephen Weiss, Jana Williams,
No problem. Jana Williams. My name is Jana Williams. I'm the proud owner of Role Models, which is a disabled veteran, woman-owned and minority-owned 100% cannabis dispensary. First off, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to come and speak with you guys. I just want to share a little bit of my struggle in getting here to this point. I want to thank you for approving my license today. I really appreciate that, but as a woman of color, it hasn't been easy tapping into the cannabis industry, not taking away from our men of color, because they need help as well, but also I just want to stand here as a voice of women of color. We need help. We don't have a lot of individuals banging down our door for funding. Unfortunately, when the state opened up their grant that day, I was giving back to the community as I do. I was hosting a 420 expungement clinic, which was well attended. I had 480 individuals there to expunge their records, but it turned around and hurt me because when I hit submit on the cannabis side for my grant application, it was already closed, the portal. I'm not here to attack the CRC. I'm here to continue to support you guys and just ask if we can seek more funding for women of color. I'm here to volunteer myself and my services in the community. If you need me to be a voice of women of color, disabled veterans, I'm here to host webinars to share my experience. I was lucky as far as an attorney. I had a wonderful attorney that took my case on pro bono, Shirali Patel, because not only am I a woman of color, I'm also a single mom of 3 that I'm proud of. So I face different barriers that individuals may not face. And that's it. I don't want to take any more of your time or stop anything, but I am here to help you continue to raise resources for individuals like myself. Thank you.
Chairwoman, Vice Chair, and Commissioners of the CRC, and of course all the hardworking people of the CRC. My name is Hugh Giordano. I am a union rep for the UFCW. As folks know, the UFCW is the official labor union under the partnership of the AFL-CIO of cannabis workers from seed to sale. And we're proud to be here in New Jersey and fight for the workers and workers' rights, and we'll always stand by workers. I have some good news. I first want to say that NJ Leaf in Freehold has officially joined the UFCW. I want to thank NJ Leaf for standing by what the law is supposed to do of equity and justice for the working class here in New Jersey. Equity and justice is not just a legal term for applications. We believe it's more than that, and we'll continue to stand by that, and we are proud to stand by that. Ritesh Shaw is an excellent owner, and is this type of person that we want to see in New Jersey. Small business owner, a pharmacist, owns a local pharmacy, cares about workers, cares about the community, and we are proud to have him as part of our union. Also want to say that MPX in Gloucester Township has organized with the UFCW. I want to thank Andrew Ryan, who is your general counsel. I think good people would have to be called out for what they do, and he's an excellent attorney. Curaleaf, Winslow workers, cultivation workers have organized with the UFCW, and we're very proud. I want to thank Danielle, who is the HR for Curaleaf, who has done a great job of standing by and doing what's right. There are good people in these organizations, so I don't want folks to think that every MSO is horrible, because they're not. There are good folks in these organizations, and we're proud to work with them. I also want to make it clear that what Mr. Rolinski said in regards to social equity applicants, the UFCW supports that idea. Local municipalities have been a real issue for a lot of folks who are trying to open a business. I've seen it firsthand where they throw applications out after they do an application process. It's disheartening, especially when you see people of color and women and immigrants being thrown to the side like that. And we'll continue to fight our best to stand by those people. UFCW is doing a great job of being out there, and will continue to do so. And I want to thank the CRC for their help as well in enforcing the law. That's it. That's all we're asking, is folks to follow the law. And while we're here, I would love to speak to TerraSend more in depth, and I hope that TerraSend is open to really speak to the UFCW. I'm proud that they have a collective bargaining agreement in Pennsylvania with the UFCW, but they sure do not have an LPA with us here in New Jersey. The workers have asked us to visit, and we are not given equal access, and I would ask that they would do that. Thank you.
Good afternoon to the members of the Commission. My name is Attorney Tisha Adams of the Law Offices of Tisha Adams. I am counsel to Garden Greens LLC, a minority-owned Class 5 retail micro-business, the first in Jersey City. They're located at 190 North Avenue in Jersey City, and they were awarded their annual license on June 1st, 2023, and they're scheduled to open October 31st on Halloween. The CREAM Act requires applicants to comply with local ordinances and restrictions. So on behalf of Garden Greens LLC, we are requesting that the Commission consider rescinding the approval of application number 2626 and application number 3029, and they should be rescinded and not awarded an annual license because they are in violation of Jersey City Municipal Ordinance 21-053, Article 5, Zoning and Design Standards, subsection 345-60.5, number 4, subsection D, subsection B, subsection C, which provides that the main entry door of any cannabis establishment subject to a Class 5 license, including micro-businesses, shall be separated from one another by a distance of at least 600 feet. Application 3029, proposed operating location, is 528.96 feet from Garden Greens LLC. Application 2626 is 322.58 feet from Garden Greens LLC. Garden Greens notified Jersey City of the violation prior to its issuance of a resolution of local support for each of these applicants. Now, despite Executive Director Brown's December 10th, 2021 memorandum, which provides guidance to the municipalities about issuing proof of local support, the Jersey City Municipal Council continues to provide resolutions of local support to applicants who are in violation of its local ordinances. And failure of Jersey City to enforce their local ordinances will ultimately leave micro-businesses like Garden Greens LLC vulnerable to large retailers and MSOs. Now, the CRC's website says that it will not issue a license that will be in violation of the local ordinance. So the CRC is now on notice of the violation of the ordinance, and a copy of the municipal ordinance as well as 2 individual land surveys evidencing these violations have been submitted to the Commission through its website. The website also further states that the compliance team investigates complaints made against cannabis businesses, and these investigations can include a physical inspection. So a physical inspection as well as a land survey by the compliance team will corroborate that they are in fact in violation of the local ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Can you hear me okay? No? There we go. My name is Justin Kemp. I worked at Columbia Care, started in July of 2022. I started a union campaign in October of 2022. There were many safety issues that we workers faced. We were met with resistance from management. When a sulfuric acid-based cleaner was introduced into the garden, we spoke up about what the process was and what PPE we needed. We asked for more PPE, and we were met with not required to produce more PPE and an ever-changing process as to what the company was going to do. We were essentially the guinea pigs using the sulfuric acid agent. We had a company meeting, and we were told we were pissing and moaning about safety issues. In that same meeting, I advised management with the heat event that we had just experienced of 100+ degrees within the garden, that the Xeritol could be denatured and ineffective. I was told I was being a troublemaker. Because we raised these issues, we felt we were being selectively targeted. We joked that each worker targeted was on the punishment tour. We felt that as much as we tried, that no one in power would take us seriously. We were told we were being negative and damaging morale for speaking out. We agreed to form a union to protect us. A union would help us find accountability. I was Employee of the Month this past June. On October 6th, 2023, we were certified as a union by the New Jersey Board of Mediation. I was disciplined October 11th for disparaging comments raising constant issues. I raised my wine garden rights and was told no, clock out and go home, or sit in this disciplinary meeting. Friday, October 13th, this past week, my manager asked to talk with me. I asked if it was disciplinary or investigatory and was told no. I asked if I needed to invoke my wine garden rights. No. I asked if I was going to be fired. No. I was fired a minute later. I just wanted to grow cannabis, quality cannabis. I just wanted to have fun with my coworkers, and I really wanted to learn. Instead, I worried almost constantly about my safety, my coworkers' safety, and the quality of the product we were producing. We were met with value engineering and other corporate doublespeak. Dissent was seemingly almost always silenced through write-ups or meetings that were later used in write-ups, such as in my case. I hope that the CRC does something, anything, to assist cannabis workers in this state. Thank you all for your time.
Chairwoman Ueno, this will conclude the registered speakers we have for today's public meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Said, and thank you to everyone who shared their comments with the board this afternoon. Just a couple of notes before we adjourn. When it comes to grant funding, I want to make a note that the grants that were issued, the cannabis grants that were issued were not issued by the CRC. Those are, that grant program is administered by the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. The CRC does partner with the New Jersey EDA to make sure that the information that and the challenges that are facing, that our cannabis entrepreneurs are facing is shared with the EDA. But for anybody who has questions about the grant funding by the EDA, I encourage you to contact the EDA directly. And also I want to note, if anyone has any evidence or documentation of wrongdoing by our regulated entities, please report that to the Cannabis Regulatory Commission. Each complaint is to be taken seriously and to be thoroughly investigated, and we want to make sure that members of the public know and understand how they can report wrongdoing or any violations of our regulations or the CREAM Act and the requirements therein. So please don't hesitate to reach out to the commission. You can go to our contact us page, email our information, our general information box, our general information inbox, contact your assigned investigator, whatever the case may be. But we do want to hear from you, because I know there were some folks who want to share information about what's happening, and we just need that information to be relayed to us so that we can conduct our investigations and act accordingly. With that, that concludes our business that we have before us today. Is there any new business for the board to consider? Hearing none, we will now move to adjourn, and I will ask for a motion for adjournment.
Madam Chairwoman, I move that we adjourn today's meeting.
Moved by Vice Chair Delgado. Is there a second?
Second, Madam Chair.
Seconded by Commissioner Barker. Is there any discussion on this motion to adjourn? Hearing none, all those in favor of adjourning say aye. Aye. All those opposed say nay. Any abstentions? Hearing none, the motion passes. The time is 1:34 and we are adjourned. Thank you everyone for your time this evening, or this afternoon.